What's going on, everybody? Got a video here just showing off one of, well, I don't know if I want to call it showing off, but showing you guys one of my relatively recent acquirements. I've had this for maybe 4 or 5 months now. This is a old Dell 2900 server I actually picked up on the cheap. Main reason I got it was we needed something for my gaming clan for hosting games. So this is our game hosting server. It pretty much does exactly what it says. Uh, it's not a super powerful machine. It's got dual quad core. I think they're like 2.8 gigahertz Xeons in it. I don't remember exactly what model number they are off the top of my head. Um, they're not super powerful. There's 8 gigs of DDR2 registered ECC memory. It's actually hidden underneath this fan right here. Um, yeah, it's not a super fast machine, and it does eat a lot of juice actually. It's very loud. It puts off a ton of heat, but it does its job quite well. Having more cores actually tends to be a little bit more helpful with hosting game servers than having a lot of speed, unless it's a really intense server that you're trying to run. But with having the 8 cores available, even though they're not very fast, it's got enough power to host multiple servers simultaneously, as long as I've got the bandwidth going out through the internet to actually handle the communications. But other than that, no major issues. So it actually works pretty good. It actually came. Everything you see here is what it came with. I haven't added anything extra to it as of yet. I might be replacing the fans at some point down the road, just to try to quiet it down a little bit. There's not a good way to manage fan speed on this thing without doing some modifications. I even did some reading online. Other people having the same complaints. Like when these things originally came out, people were buying them as small business servers, and they like sat in the back of an office, howling away. And they're like, "How do you quiet this thing down? It's obnoxious. It's annoying." Because really, this thing is essentially a rack server that they stuffed into a case that's designed to be a tower case. So it works, but yeah, it's loud and kind of obnoxious. But when we're using it for a game hosting server, I've got a couple of doors here that I won't close them all the way, and it kind of keeps it a little bit quieter. Just leave it cracked open a little bit so some air can circulate. A couple of nice things that this thing had. I don't know if I can get this open. Actually came with SAS drives. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get that out of there. Let me just move this out of the way. Yeah, this closet kind of doubles as storage for random odds and ends in the house. So, a couple of old SAS drives that came with it. I ran a couple of tests on them in another machine just to make sure that they were in good shape before actually getting this thing fired up. No errors or anything. I mean, if it does crap out, who cares? 15,000 RPM SAS drives are kind of expensive, but it is old used hardware. I can't expect it to last forever. If it does crap out, we'll just throw some SATA drives in instead. SATA drives will work just fine for my particular uses. Right now I've got those running in RAID 0, or excuse me, RAID 1. In case one does poop out, the machine will at least keep running. Some cool features. I don't know if you've never messed with rack servers or actually dedicated, pre-built servers before. These fans are a little dusty, but this thing's basically fully modular. Everything besides the motherboard and the SAS backplane over here, pretty much everything else pops out, pretty easily. If you need to change out a fan, you just buy a new one, stick it in there. My plan is actually to take these rather obnoxiously loud fans out. See if I can get away with some Noctuas. I might just change out a couple of them and see where the temperatures go, and if things look good, we'll swap out all of them and see where we go from there. Another thing I'm thinking about doing, now that we've got these very low power GTX 950s and stuff popping up on the market that only require 75 watts of power, no power cord, decent amount of compute power for the card and the amount of power consumption. I'm thinking I might go ahead and pick a couple of them up on the cheap, chop their connectors down, the PCI Express connector down, so that they'll fit into these 8X slots, and have a couple of them in here to run folding at home 24/7 while the server's running. So, makes them another kind of secondary use for the machine that doesn't really use any bandwidth up. And two cards would mean I'd have to dedicate 2 cores of the 8 in the CPUs to actually run and supply those cards with data. But that's about it. It'd leave me with all the other ones, the other 6 still available. So kind of a cool little machine that's a cheap little fun little toy to play with. I paid a little over $100 for it. Those SAS drives alone would cost me significantly more than that just to get a hold of them again. But that's it. It's kind of, like I said, kind of a cool little machine. Nice little toy. I've got some other things kind of planned for it besides the game hosting servers. For when it's not being banged up too much. Just kind of a big play toy. Dink with it, mess around, have some fun. All right, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, comments down below. Have a good one.